Hello, Coolers, and welcome back to Viva Barca. Welcome to the home of everything Barcelona, where we are going to be discussing on some interesting updates. We are going to start with Memphis Depay and Frenkie de Jong, talking about how the Barcelona Dutch duo are putting up a strong fight in the face of adversity. We are going to be discussing on that as we progress. Then secondly, talking about the Barca B coach Rafa Marquez in a recent interview talking about manager Xavi. He spoke about Lewandowski, Messi, Gerard Piqué, Jordi Alba, President Joan Laporta, and Pablo Torre. We are going to be discussing on everything Rafa Marquez had to say about them. So guys, as we get right into it, please do ensure to subscribe if you haven't. Turn on the post bell notification to always stay notified whenever I post a new video. Consider liking the video and please watch it right up to the very end. Barca, Barca, Barca. Xavi made a few surprising decisions against Elche. To begin with, a certain Rafinha was demoted to the bench, making way for once exit-bound Memphis Depay, while club captain Sergio Busquets was rested in place of Frenkie de Jong, who started as the pivot. Or let me say the pivot, sorry. The turnaround in fortunes of the Dutch duo is a revelation, no doubt, to say the very least, especially given the fact that both Depay and de Jong were facing being forced out of the club in the summer. So let's talk about the Frenkie de Jong, the Busquets alternative in the squad, which is bringing some sort of confusion. De Jong, right, was a subject of extensive transfer interest from Manchester United. We all know that. New boss Erik ten Hag wanted his compatriot to be his main man there, but the midfielder's reluctance to leave resulted in him staying put at Barcelona. Chelsea also entered the fray but gave up rather easily. Now, there are arguments that a player who is owed a bucket load of money by Barcelona as part of the deferred wages would not want to move in the first place. But the club are slowly starting to reap the rewards of the Dutchman's decision to stay. There's no doubt about that. Frenkie de Jong took the leadership role against Elche in midfield and completed 95 passes with an accuracy of 90.5%. This was the most passes by any player on that day. In fact, apart from Frenkie de Jong and Pedri, who made 92 passes, no Barca player completed more than 70 passes against Elche. It's not too long ago when a group of Barcelona supporters turned against the Dutchman when he refused to revise his contract, which would have resulted in a lower salary. As it turns out, Frenkie de Jong is proving to be quite an effective player. The former Ajax man has completed 295 of 281 passes, made 20 ball recoveries, and he has won 29 of the 35 duels this season. So these are magnificent numbers, right, for a player who was once the verge of leaving and is currently the fourth choice midfielder behind Busquets, Pedri, and Gavi. It must be remembered that Barcelona were so ready to give up on the 25-year-old as well. The club sure had their reasons, and they even had a principal agreement in place with Manchester United, and the situation was pretty much the same with Chelsea. However, with Nico Gonzalez leaving on loan and Miralem Pjanic departing, Barcelona had nowhere to go but to settle with Frenkie de Jong, and now he's been seen as the alternative to Sergio Busquets within the squad. So now let's talk about Memphis Depay making a case for himself. The situation with Memphis Depay was pretty much the same. The ex-Manchester United forward had no place in Xavi's blueprints ahead of the season. Juventus even made an approach, but the move collapsed as they decided to sign but Akaduzik Milik instead, forcing him to stay. In reality, Memphis Depay had no place in that Barca squad, with Rafinha and Robert Lewandowski arriving and Ousmane Dembele extending his contract. Barcelona had enough options, with Ferran Torres and Ansu Fati waiting in line as well. And Depay had a torrid start to the season, and he did not play a single minute in the first 4 league matches, but he has gotten a decent run of late and even scored a good goal in his latest game against Elche. Now, it can be argued that the starting minutes against Cadiz and Elche, but the 28-year-old has shown that he can still be a valuable asset, with Xavi appreciating his efforts. Despite being termed outcast at one point, Memphis Depay and Frenkie de Jong, have not let their heads down and have showcased that they are ready to fight for their place in the side. Then on to the next story of discussion. Rafa Marquez returned to Barcelona earlier this year, replacing Sergi Barjuan as the manager of the Barca Athletic team. The Mexican tactician spent 7 years as a player for Barca between 2003 and 2010 and won 2 UEFA Champions League titles with the club. Talking to Sport, he revealed how his return to Barcelona materialized, saying, "Already since last year there were those talks. I was doing the coaching course in Madrid and they had offered me to Juvenile A, but because I didn't have the qualification, I couldn't come. This year they continued with the same idea. Barca Athletic was finally proposed to me and it is a great opportunity. I want to take advantage of it, continue growing, and we're better than at home." Barca Athletic have started well under Marquez, having been unbeaten so far this new season. The players have understood the concepts, the idea of the game, and what we are incorporating, he said. "We have worked very well from the first day, and the results accompany," he said. As for his thoughts on the current Barca first team, the Mexican said, "There is a very competitive squad, 2 players per position, great quality, people with experience and guys from La Masia. Yes, they can compete to win titles." Marquez then added that the team was in very good hands with his former teammate Xavi Hernandez in charge. He said, "As a teammate, you saw that he had the profile to be a coach. He has clear concepts, he is from the house and knows how to run a club. Barca is in the best hands." Talking about the acquisition of Robert Lewandowski, Marquez said, "He is a very complete striker on both inside and outside. He shows himself to be a leader. When he scores goals, he is immediately given instructions to improve. He applauds the efforts. Barca have done so well in hiring him." The former Barcelona defender also spoke about, the plight of veteran stars Gerard Piqué and Jordi Alba, who are struggling for game time this term under Xavi. He said, "Difficult, complicated. There are competitive people and knowing them, they want to play every week, but Xavi's management with them is important there. The talks so that they don't lose motivation. They have to contribute whether they play or not," he said. On the first team having 5 centre-backs, all of whom are right-footed, he said, "Barca is used to that and both Araujo and Koundé can play as right-backs. We have good centre-backs with experience. Araujo, for example, is physically very strong, very fast, and the good thing is that he still has significant room for development." Marquez also spoke very highly of the club president Joan Laporta, saying, "He is a president with a lot of character and that makes him take risks, have a competitive squad and give what the club needs." Talking about his experience of playing with greats like Ronaldinho and Lionel Messi during his time at the club, Marquez said, "I am privileged and lucky to have played alongside Rooney and Messi. With the first I perhaps had a little more of a relationship, and with Leo I enjoyed every moment, every training session. I remember always looking for him so that Messi could do the magic and could change the path of the games. I really enjoyed playing with the player who is today the best in the world." Marquez also gave his 2 cents about the situation surrounding Pablo Torre, who is training with the first team but not playing, but is unwilling to play for Barca Athletic. He said, "If he comes, he will help us, he will add, he will contribute, and the doors will always be open, but it is something that is handled directly by the first team manager Xavi." When asked if he dreams of coaching Barcelona first team or the Mexican national team, Marquez said, "Obviously, when you enter the cycle, you dream of coaching a big team. But for this, you have to work, gain experience, and when luck strikes, be prepared. Barcelona and the national team are never to be told no." So guys, with that, we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, bye-bye.